been treated better than I ever have been as a WNBA player. Now, that is the comment there that is raising eyebrows amongst fans in regards to Kelsey Plum, stating that she's been treated better so far than she has ever been as a WNBA player.
Listen to that again. That wasn't a standard press conference line. That was a coded message. It was the sound of a prisoner taking her first breath of freedom. For years, the world was sold a story about the Las Vegas Aces, a glittering dynasty, a super team, a family that built a championship empire in the desert. But that story was a lie. Kelsey Plum's carefully chosen words weren't just a thank you to her new team. They were a verdict delivered on the one she escaped. This is the story they have spent millions to hide. The story of a machine, polished and perfect on the outside, but designed to systematically crush the ambition of anyone who dared to be more than just a cog. We've pieced together the evidence, followed the trail of broken promises and desperate departures, and what we found is a truth far darker than anyone imagined. Kelsey Plum wasn't just an unhappy player. She was the first victim to escape the gilded cage, and her escape started a chain reaction that is now threatening to bring the entire corrupt empire down. You need to understand what's happening right now, because the foundation of that dynasty is rotting in real time, and Plum's story was only the beginning. To grasp the depth of this betrayal, you have to understand what the Vegas machine truly is. It was never just a basketball team, it was a marketing concept, a brand. And successful brands require a simple, clean narrative. The narrative they chose was Aja Wilson. She was the hero, the centerpiece, the sun around which all other bodies were forced to orbit. And Kelsey Plum, with her explosive talent, her fire, and her own burning ambition to lead, became a threat to that simple narrative. Look at the evidence she presented every single night on the court. Nearly 18 points, over 4 assists, and almost 3 rebounds per game on a team that won back-to-back titles. Those aren't the numbers of a supporting character. Those are the statistics of a co-star screaming for a larger role, proving through sheer force of will that she was more than just a piece. But in the eyes of the machine, her excellence wasn't an asset to be unleashed. It was a variable to be controlled. The whispers from inside the league became a roar.
There has been rumblings that basically, Kelsey Plum wanted to get the hell away from them, meaning Becky Hammond and Aja Wilson. And I'm here to tell you guys, it is looking like that way because none other than Kelsey Plum actually fired shots at the Las Vegas. Throughout the offseason, there has been a lot of chatter behind the scenes in regards to the Las Vegas Aces. The Las Vegas Aces team was completely derailed at the conclusion of the season, which leaving a lot of people to speculate what the hell is going on in Vegas.
Wanted to get the hell away. That is the language of desperation. That is the feeling of being trapped in a role you have outgrown, under a coach who refuses to see you, alongside a star who the system is built to protect at all costs. The family atmosphere they sold to the public was a meticulously crafted illusion. Behind the curtain, it was a rigid hierarchy designed to manage egos and suppress any ambition that conflicted with the chosen narrative. And the most damning proof of this suffocating environment comes directly from Plum herself, in a confession so raw and honest, it serves as the centerpiece of this entire investigation. I would hate to have grandkids sitting on the couch and just being like, I wonder if that is the sound of a dream dying. It is the voice of an elite athlete, a champion at the apex of her career, admitting that her greatest fear was the regret being forced upon her by her own team. She was pleading for the chance to find out how great she could be. But Becky Hammond and the Aces front office had already decided she'd never get the chance. Not in their house. This wasn't about winning games. They were already doing that. This was about power. It was about control. It was about protecting the machine's narrative, even if it meant suffocating one of their own stars. The true cold nature of the machine was put on full display when Plum's life was shattered in the public eye. In early 2024, she endured a painful and widely publicized divorce, an emotional trauma she admitted really broke me. This was the ultimate test of the Aces' family culture. In her moment of greatest vulnerability, a real family would have provided a shield. A real family would have offered unconditional support. But the machine only deals in assets and liabilities. Her personal pain was viewed as a potential threat to the brand's pristine image. While Plum, ever the professional, publicly credited her coaches as a safe space, her actions tell the real story. The second she had a way out, she ran. She didn't just change teams, she sought refuge. She found an organization that saw her as a human being first and a player second. I feel very loved. An overwhelming sense of love. You never realize you've been starving until you have your first real meal. That statement isn't praise for the Sparks, it's a direct condemnation of the cold, transactional environment she left behind. The Las Vegas machine could give her a championship ring, a piece of metal, but it couldn't provide the one thing she desperately needed: humanity. It couldn't see past the jersey to the broken person inside. This is the critical turning point in the investigation.
Really are about it. You really believe that you are as good as you think you are, and you really think you can impact winning at the highest level.
Only one way to find out.
There's only one way to find out. And kind of also too, you also have to have a coach that is no, that's exactly
what is it to be the leader? What is it to be the head of the snake? That kind of a vibe. Feels like you just wanted to know. You needed to know.
Yeah, I would hate to have grandkids sitting on the couch and just being I wonder if I would have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That sounded creepy, but
no, I totally get it. Yeah, you don't want to regret. That's basically what you're saying.
What the Aces failed to realize is that their mistreatment of Plum was not happening in a vacuum. Other players were watching. They were feeling the same chill from the machine. And when Plum finally broke free, she didn't just open the door for herself, she showed every other trapped player the path to an escape route. Her courageous act of defiance triggered a silent mutiny. It started with Kate Martin. The machine could explain her departure as a simple expansion draft loss. But the evidence doesn't support that narrative. Listen to the relief in her voice. I'm really excited for this new beginning. That is the sound of liberation. Young players on a dynasty don't celebrate leaving, they mourn it. Martin's excitement was the first corroboration of Plum's story. It was another vote of no confidence in the culture. Then the exodus became a flood. Sydney Colson, the team's vibrant soul and Aja Wilson's own best friend, abandoned ship for Indiana. Tiffany Hayes, the league's best bench player, opted to join a brand new expansion team rather than stay with the supposed best team in the world. Alicia Clark, a veteran champion, chose the comfort and culture of a former team over the toxic glory of Las Vegas. This was not a coincidence. This was a pattern. This was a mass rejection of the machine. The players were voting with their feet, and their unified message was clear. The dynasty was a lie. Plum wasn't a disgruntled employee. She was the whistleblower who gave everyone else the courage to flee. The supreme tragic irony is that the machine, so ruthlessly designed to protect its queen, is now collapsing and consuming her. Aja Wilson, the very star for whom this entire oppressive system was built, is now the lonely monarch of a crumbling empire. The kingdom is in ruins, and even she can no longer defend it. Her own words are a heartbreaking admission of total systemic failure. It's not going to be the same group, and I'm sad about that. That is the sound of defeat. It's the lament of a leader who has been left alone amidst the wreckage of a project she was told would last forever. The machine has turned on its own creation, leaving her to face the consequences of its toxicity. The verdict from the rest of the world was just as swift and brutal.
So, for all Aces fans, it's over. It's over. It's over! The reign of the Aces is over. I understand the shortest dynasty in the history of the sport of basketball. You know, I've never heard of a dynasty that won 2 championships and then was done, because you're seeing all the ring-chasing free agents getting out of Vegas.
The shortest dynasty in the history of the sport of basketball. A legacy destroyed from the inside out. And this is where all the evidence connects. The suppression of Kelsey Plum, the silent mutiny of the roster, the emotional breakdown of its star. These aren't separate issues, they are symptoms of a much deeper disease. They are the direct result of a corrupt and chaotic leadership structure that is now being exposed. The Aces have been operating without a legitimate general manager, leaving a multi-million-dollar roster twisting in the wind. Coach Becky Hammon, who the league has already suspended for violating workplace respect policies, is reportedly attempting to seize even more control in the power vacuum. This isn't just mismanagement, this is a cover-up. This all tracks back to the scandals the machine has been desperately trying to outrun. This is an organization that was punished by the WNBA and stripped of a first-round pick for discriminating against a player for being pregnant. This is an organization reportedly under federal investigation for making illegal, under-the-table payments to its players. The machine wasn't just holding Kelsey Plum back to protect a narrative. It was breaking rules, breaking trust, and breaking spirits to maintain a fragile illusion of power. It had to enforce absolute control because it had too many secrets to hide. Kelsey Plum didn't just leave a team. She pulled the first thread on a corrupt tapestry, and now the entire thing is unraveling. The question is no longer if the dynasty is dead. The question is, what other crimes will be exposed as the rest of the machine burns to the ground?